Primarily speaking, I am a person from technology, sales, and telecom background. Healthcare is a new subject for me, but and this is a very, as Sanjay put it, it's a very tough subject to talk about and bring some sort of solution to what the problem is. So, since we have a constraint on time, I will like to go straight to the presentation. Well, I would like to talk about what marketing as a subject is. It is a process whereby we ascertain a right kind of products and services to our target group of customers. And it is a process which helps to define or plan the strategies, communications, and business development. Another aspect of it is that it builds customer relationships and creates value for them. And if we have to put it in a very, very simple word, it is identify who your target group is, satisfy their needs, and then retain them. Believe me, selling or putting out new solutions or products or services for your target group is very easy. But the most toughest part is to retain your customers. Well, the next slide, it does not, everybody knows about telemedicine. But the one thing that I would like to add is that telemedicine as a concept has got the most penetration in our country in comparison to the global standards. So that's what our gentleman said, that everybody knows what telemedicine is all about. Well, now the subject is marketing is a different process altogether, and telemedicine is a different ball game altogether. So based upon what I have the experience, I've tried to amalgamate both of them to make some sort of a connection in between these two subjects. So basically, going by the marketing jargon, what is our addressable market? Our addressable market is the rural population. It's a huge base that we have, which is around 70% of the population living in the rural parts. The doctor to population ratio in the country is 6 per 10,000 people. 60% of the hospitals are there with the private sector, and 80% of the doctors are employed by them. 70% of the healthcare resources are concentrated in the top 20 cities of the country. And going by the demand curve, as per what marketing is, within the next 2 decades, we require more than 2 times the number of doctors, 3 times the number of nurses, and 4 times the number of paramedics that are available at present. Well, the biggest question which everybody is asking, how to create awareness. Experiential or BTL form of marketing, which we call it as the below the line kind of marketing, where marketing companies, they send out their product for the customers or people to test and then give their feedback or create a base for them for selling it out. Well, the connection here is that it's already there, but like in the form of POCs, where pilots and projects are being done for telemedicine, and then succeeding them into a major project. Not in the context, but eChaupal is a very successful form of BTL marketing by ITC. Then we can use social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Well, the other aspect which I thought is that creating more education programs which are aimed to promote rural healthcare. By the way, I believe, if I am not wrong, there are not very much education programs where the students can go who want to pursue medical career as such, but not specifically for the rural healthcare. Then the other thing which Dr. Mundra also said is that involvement of the industry with the government in a more cohesive manner, and to create opportunities for entrepreneurs. So the entrepreneurs that I'm talking about are tier 2, tier 3 system integrators who do information communications and technology solutions. And it is altogether a whole new avenue where they can make money and make a total business revenue model out of it. Then the last point, what Dr. Mundra said, I also agree with it, that there should be enough earning opportunities for the doctors so that they go out and practice in the rural area as far as our country is concerned, because this is where the biggest potential for telemedicine and the challenge is. Well, in the last slide, I would just like to talk about our solution as such. This is basically a rural RTech center which is connected to a hospital which is in a which is 300 or 400 kilometers away from it. This is a paramedic or a technician who does not require to be medically qualified, but anybody with 10 to 12 years or 14 years of education and knows how to read and write in the local language can act as a technician at the RTech center. This is basically a workflow where a patient comes to the RTech center, and these are the peripherals and the instruments by which we can do the measurements which are highlighted on the left side of the slide. Then it is the involvement. This is what basically is RTech is. It is nothing. It is just a Intel Classmate PC, and it's like any other netbook through which there is a video conferencing solution embedded into the platform itself, which is software as a service. And this is how a two-way communication happens between the service provider and the remote RTech center. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rohit. Any questions? Okay, now that we have another 5 minutes, we can be open for the general discussion or to the previous speakers also if you have. Yeah, please.
Thank you. My name is Bhaskaran. In almost all the sessions, more emphasis has been said on incentivizing the doctors for more awareness or more adoption of telemedicine. I had one personal experience where I went to a medical college in one of the capital cities of Union Territory and gave a presentation for an hour and a half on telemedicine. And after 1.5 hours of all song and dance, they were all unanimously agreed that it is of no use. The opinions were two categories. The seniors like the dean and the principal, they were all aware of what Apollo has done and others have done. And their unanimous feedback was, oh, these are all flash in the pan. They have not been carried through. They have just been tried more for whatever reasons. And the younger generations had no clue about this. I think one of the biggest things is education. I think telling people what is happening in the rest of the world. There is very low awareness in one of the major cities, major hospitals about what telemedicine is all about, right? Their only concept of telemedicine is video conferencing. In fact, a lot of good points I saw, same thing. I'm just supplementing what you have said. I think more than incentivizing, first is there is an urgent need to educate the new doctors on what telemedicine is all about, what its capabilities are, how it has been used elsewhere. I think that education is very essential. Unlike a situation of pharma industry where there are too many competitors and they have to incentivize their doctors, today there are very few players in telemedicine. So more than incentivizing, I think the doctors can be spoken to in terms of non-financial incentives, the quality time they can spend with their family, the higher level of care they can give to their patients, the ability to extend their patient database, base. I think these factors also should be emphasized and not just the focus on financial part of it, because that makes it demeaning in my view. I think all the factors should...
I'm sorry to intervene you, but my idea of incentivizing or giving them more earning opportunities is, that's what I know of, is that finding a qualified doctor in a category B or a category C city is very difficult. And in last 3 months, wherever I have spoken to people say that there are not enough lucrative interests for a doctor who spent at least 5 to 7 years of education and money and everything. Don't take it otherwise.
I'm not contesting at all. All I'm saying is this is sublimated. I'm saying let us not focus only on the financial. No. I agree with you.
Basic amenities to sustain themselves, or I'm talking from the psychological point of view.
I would add to that with some statistics, which say in a rural India, a person falls ill 2.6 times in a year. A person falls ill 2.6 times in a year. And if you add on, if it is a 2,000 population village, it would be, we would have around 5,000 to 6,000 episodes of illness, and each costs around 20 rupees consultation to a doctor or a 50 rupees consultation to a doctor. He would not be earning more than 2 or 3 lakhs per annum, where he wouldn't want to get in there. And I completely agree with you wherein says that the doctors don't know what's happening across. So where TSI can help, as we said, and emails specific, is how would the doctors be aware of what is happening in the telemedicine world across the globe, or even across India? What is being treated, what is not being treated, where are the barriers in using telemedicine? There should be some kind of an awareness that is created for the doctors.
Just to intervene, well, what I have understood or what I have gathered or learned from the educated society is that India as a country is the most penetrated as far as telemedicine is concerned than any other parts of the globe. But again, as Dr. Mundra said, that the government has to take the initiative, or bodies like NRHM, or bodies like TSI. They this is what I illustrated or emphasized on my this thing, that the industry and the government, they have to come forward and they have to put in an extra effort. So we all know that there is a high rate of bureaucracy, or there is a red tapeism and all that stuff. I don't need to talk about it, but this is one of the reasons, or the laid back attitude, which does not help to take the initiative further.
Okay. Some more points.
Anything else?
One more point.
Talking about government and private sector and all those things, we should understand the health system of India. About 80% of the population go to the private sector. It is not the government sector. It's only for that to 40% of the admissions are from the government sector, and 60% are from the private sector. We should not forget the private sector is playing a major role in India.
No. See, no, I am not contesting on that point. It is basically that slide which I was talking about. It is to do from the marketing perspective of any of let's say, I'm a computer manufacturer, okay? For me, what is the addressable market? And today, all these telecommunication companies, they are looking at rural India as one of their biggest target segments, because the number of users or the number of prospects which are available in the rural sector are far more than the urban sector. And coming to your second point, that going to a private hospital or a private sector, there is, as a layman, the only simple reason is the quality of service, or the quality of attention, or the quality of healthcare that we get in the private hospitals, though we have to pay a very hefty amount for it, which is not possible for anybody who's living in the rural segment of India. So basically, telemedicine as a concept is a very good concept. But again, I'm sorry, I'm a person from sales and management background, but I believe in what Jack Welch says, that basics and execution, these are the two important things for anything to succeed, for any process to succeed. So what I feel, that execution is not happening in a proper manner. So if we are executing our initiatives in a proper manner, I believe there is going to be more reach, because there is addressable market here in India, and it's a very huge market. So I think,
Thank you.
Anything more that you would like to say on it?
Thanks, Rohit. Anyway, I assume the House agrees unanimously that there is a telemedicine need, there is a telemedicine potential, and there is a telemedicine capability. But all of us, we are in the loop of pehle aap. Some people say government should take initiative. Some people say you shut down the government or shut it out. Somebody else should do. And then there is a money problem, or a marketing problem, or the reach problem. Just telling one point, addressing my two colleagues here, is regarding the education. These events like this Telemedicon or some other things are only just one drop in the ocean. We will not really reach the people. You see here how many people have come first time to know about telemedicine. Many of the people are already aware, focused, or they have something to sell or buy. Really new people are very less. For this only, Telemedicine Society, during the national workforce or national working group, has suggested to the Ministry of Health that MCI should make at least one course mandatory during the part of the curriculum to know about the telemedicine and the telehealth. Let us not restrict by telemedicine, telehealth, e-health, whatever names you give. Basically, they should be aware about the practices and its doability and the limitations as such. Definitely, it is not a panacea for everything in the world. So let us be aware of the realities and try to see what best we can do. But it is a catch-22 problem or a situation. You do it first and then let the numbers come, it will grow. No, show me the growth, then I will produce 10,000 units and give you at $100. That's a very real problem. Thank you anyway once again for the active participation. Please, you can please give. This is a token of appreciation to Mr. Rohit. Thank you. Thanks.